Welcome back. We know the Twin Cities has become really a foodie paradise, and there are a lot of dishes that you can get here that you cannot get anywhere else.
Joining us with her list of the 50 iconic dishes of the Twin Cities. No pressure, her list, like everyone's going to give you the emails. New food writer from the Star Tribune, Joy Summers. Welcome to the show, Joy.
Thank you. So glad to be here.
Okay, so list pretty self-explanatory. Top 50 places in the Twin Cities to eat. Why did you guys decide to come up with this? I mean, we're a foodie place, but what was the input, the inspiration?
It started when my co-writer Sharon Jackson, also food reporter for the for Star Tribune, went to Phoenix, and she was Googling like crazy, like, where do I have to eat to get a taste of this city? And she came home and said, we got to write this.
Yeah.
Like, we go out all the time. We're out almost every night, going out for lunch. We know all over the Twin Cities, and what do we want to introduce people to? What do we want to represent our city? If you come to town, what's the dish you have to have? And when you live here, what's the dish that's worth driving across town in a blizzard for?
This had to be such a hard list to put together too, because, you know, like number 51.
It was so painful.
You know, you're just like, oh, I feel so bad. Okay, so let's jump into it. Let's, first up, Monte Carlo.
Monte Carlo wings, like, yes, right? Yeah, if you haven't had them, you've got to go have them. They're these really giant, super succulent and super crusty wings that are coated in this really unique spice blend that's kind of like warm spices. Like, I think there's some cinnamon in there. There might be just a tiny hint of sugar in there. There's definitely salt and black pepper and garlic powder, and it's just zingy, crusty, hits all the flavor notes, and then the wings underneath are so massive and juicy, and that room is just incredible. Like, that room alone is iconic.
Atmosphere
is just so cool.
It's just a glittering wall of bottles.
I must say that is one of my favorite restaurants in the Twin Cities. My mom always used to talk about it, like back in the day too. Egg salad sandwich and wings every time.
It's so funny.
You can't not.
I love egg salad sandwiches.
The wings.
And I need to go there for that.
What do you know?
Okay.
All right. Next up, you have Murray's butter steak.
Yes, the butter knife steak, which is something that actually we didn't realize was kind of a misnomer. It's not that you cut it with a butter knife, it's that they won an award called the butter knife.
Oh. So you still use your steak knife, people.
Exactly. So I used a steak knife, but the presentation was incredible. There aren't restaurants that do this style of service anymore, where they're really tableside carving it. When they serve it, they use 2 spoons turned backwards, which is just like an art that nobody does. And yeah, I'm
trying to. So how does this work?
So, like, imagine you're playing the spoons. Did you ever do that when you were little?
Yes.
It's like that, but they kind of use that so it doesn't. You're not using a fork to pierce the meat. Like, the meat is so special.
Pristine.
It gets it. Yes. It's pristinely presented to you. It's incredible. Just going there is so phenomenal. And then, of course, like, the steak. Like, it's just the standard bearer to die for.
Okay, next. We're going to be so hungry after this segment.
Yeah, this is dangerous before lunch.
Next up, a spot that has been around for a long time, too, the kielbasa from Kramarczuk's.
The kielbasa from Kramarczuk's. I mean, how can you not go to Kramarczuk's when you're in Northeast Minneapolis? It's so emblematic of the worker, blue-collar history of the neighborhood, of what Northeast used to be, what it is in the future, and you can take a bite of it home. You can get it on the restaurant, and the sausage is so unctuous, porky, snappy casing, and those rich spice flavors on the inside, utterly juicy, mouth-watering, impossible to miss.
My husband makes a really good kale and kielbasa soup, and he always gets the kielbasa and linguiça that he uses in it from Kramarczuk's.
You have
to get it there. Yeah. So good. Okay, next, I'm going there on Friday, and now I know what to get. The shrimp toast from Hi Hi.
First of all, order everything.
Yeah. Just get everything.
Restaurant, the menu, I could spend days eating there. I love bringing people there. When you walk inside, it's so tropical. You would never know that it has a stripper pole in the middle of it.
I'm sorry. There's a stripper pole in Hi Hi?
That's why he's taking you there.
I'm just kidding. Jokes.
That's why I'm going, honey.
It used to be a different kind of bar, but they've since transformed it with like this beautiful wallpaper, and it just feels like this tropical getaway. But it used to be a bar of like, anyway, I shouldn't even be talking about that. We're talking about toast.
A different repute.
Oh yeah,
different repute. But the shrimp toast is just extra buttery and unctuous, everything that Christine and Nguyen is doing out of that kitchen is this South Asian, Vietnamese, tons of spice, herbs, fish sauce, flavor. It's just transformative. It's like a vacation.
Yes, and as you said, you walk in there and it's like, we need this right now to feel like we are not here, especially right this very moment.
Right this very second.
Right now, when you look outside. Okay, let's move on. We have sausage bread. Hell's Kitchen?
Yes. So this is just bizarre. They take ground sausage and then knead it into bread dough and then cook it. And you're like, why?
It really is sausage bread.
It's like toast.
Yeah.
But with some extra.
Do you put butter on it, or what do you do with it?
I love to put, they make this incredible peanut butter.
So good.
Yes, so I love to put the peanut butter, and then they make house-made jam. A lot of times it's like kind of zingy, gingery, blackberry, spicy. But I see your face, and you're like, what?
How does this work?
Yeah, I love that. Hell's Kitchen is always kind of like, well, why would we do anything that anybody else has ever done? Let's just break all the rules, including how to make toast. So the texture really is more like toast than a meatloaf. Yes.
Okay.
But you do get those breakfast sausage flavors in there. So it's savory and sweet.
Huh.
It's weird, but it's good.
I'm gonna take your word for it.
I wouldn't put the peanut butter on it, but now I'll try it.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
you
have
can
thought
put peanut butter on it. Anything.
I bought a friend a jar and they ate the whole thing in one sitting.
Are you kidding
I was
me?
like, oh, I'm sorry, I should have warned you. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's really
yeah.
good.
It's so good.
Okay, speaking of sauces, Brasa green sauce.
We had so many debates over like, is the sauce a dish?
Yeah. Can you drink it?
But
Can you eat
yes,
it with a spoon?
it is. So Alex Roberts owns Brasa. He also has Alma, which is much more upscale, and the man just knows flavor. So they do all different kinds of roasted meats. It's kind of a South American kind of inspiration for this place. And the green sauce has cilantro in it. It's creamy, but I think it's non-dairy. It's just some kind of like flavor alchemy in a little jar. And like all the food at Brasa is good, but you gotta put the green sauce on everything. And then once you get the green sauce, I'm using it at home. I'm making eggs with it. The green sauce is transformative.
Is it not very green, or was that the picture?
Yeah.
It's kind of a light green, like the promise of spring.
I know, I was surprised it wasn't as green. Like, I just thought it was just gonna be like literally a green.
Yeah, no, it's not as vibrant because it's got that creaminess.
Sure.
So it's just the herbs flecked in it. So good.
Okay, we're ending this section at least with one of my favorites, the Rustica cookie.
I mean,
game
is there
changer.
a better cookie
game
on
It is.
the planet? It's deep, dark chocolate, and on the inside, in the very center of it, it's almost like a brownie. Look at that. And then it's covered in this like sanding sugar, this super, super, super fine sugar. So when you bite into it, it crackles against your teeth. And then when you get on the inside, it's this dense, bittersweet chocolate that's just kind of washes over your whole palate and begs for a glass of milk, but you kind of don't want to let that flavor go.
That's why we're both looking at you like,
I know, like we're like lovesick puppies.
keep describing food. It's amazing. I know why you do what you do.
I love it.
So good. We're gonna sit over here and salivate. Joy will be back when we come back in just a couple of minutes.
Why did you bring me one? You got the puppy dog eyes look.
Oh, so many conversations about food. We don't have any. I'm hungry. You probably are
She's
too.
hangry now.
Welcome back. Our friends outside of the Twin Cities may be feeling a little jealous about all of our iconic eats, but don't worry, we have a few that non-locals can try too.
Yeah, we're back with Joy Summers, and these are things that you can find in grocery stores or you can order them online, so that's the key there.
Yes.
Okay, so we're starting off with one that I just admitted, and I probably shouldn't, top the tater. I've never had.
What is wrong?
You haven't had it either, or you're...
Oh, like missing in your life?
We have to take you to the state lines and dump you there. I'm sorry. Like, you gotta go.
You just gotta go. Maybe take her across the border.
I didn't know I needed to do that as soon as I moved to Minnesota 10 years in.
Yeah, well, that's the
Sorry.
point of this
Yes,
list. It's to introduce all these things. And top the tater is basically like an oniony sour cream, and that's just the basis. There's a baseline flavor, and then they've got a bunch of other twists and takes on it. But I have friends who grew up in Minnesota. When they move away, this is the thing that they they send me messages and say, can you tell me about the tapped potato? Tell me about how you can just go into a grocery store and just buy as much as you want. It's
So
wonderful.
good.
And then if you pair it with the Old Dutch Ripple potato chips.
I was just going to ask, what do you put it on?
Yes.
Everything?
Old Dutch Ripple potato chips. They have
Okay.
the right amount of salt. They're quite salty.
It's the
and so
perfect
good.
combination.
Finger licking good,
Okay,
Shane.
okay,
Yeah.
all right.
I will
I hear
also
ya.
say that is the best thing that's ever come out of Minnesota other than Prince, okay?
Whoa,
All right.
whoa.
Just saying. Didn't want y'all, you purple people, to attack me for that. Okay, number 2, Heggie's Pizza, the frozen pizza of choice.
The frozen pizza of dive bars across the Midwest, like especially Minnesota, Wisconsin. Heggie's is a taste of a country bar. For me, that's kind of a homecoming. I love like getting out in the state and going to these country places, and you can always count on it. If they've got a Heggie's, it's a good bar. And you can get it at the grocery store, take it home, and recreate those good times at home. And they've got a bazillion flavors. Everything from a breakfast pizza to the super meaty,
Chicken
to the
Alfredo.
supreme- Chicken Alfredo.
So good.
Yeah, they
Had
like
a few.
It's
Notice that.
it's a wonderland of pizza flavors, and it's just, and you got in my world, you got to cut it in squares. Like that's how
Yes,
you
ma'am.
do it.
And you do that too?
When I bartended, you cut it in squares or you were out. You
Yeah.
were just out. You're done. No
It's
more paychecks.
not meant to
done.
be cut in a triangle. It's
Okay.
Cut it in a square, and then you get the little
learning.
crispy triangles
I
on the
am.
edge, and it's like the perfect bite.
It's like I'm being schooled. I need
Yeah.
it. Thank you. Minnesota 101. Okay, I know this next one. Crybaby Craig's.
So hot sauce, like you'd think, well, what's so great about a hot sauce? Hot sauce is exactly that. No, their hot sauce is kind of pickly and extra garlicky, and he is a chef, so he knows how to build flavors. It started out because he had way too many habaneros at the restaurant he was working at, and decided to like figure out what to do with them. And this fermented flavor that comes through with it, this sauce goes so beautifully on anything savory you put it on. It just kicks up the flavor a lot, and it doesn't overtake it. It's not going to kill your palate. It's really something that like is an extra, I don't know,
Bit of deliciousness.
How hot
it's an
is
extra
it?
bit of deliciousness. It is spicy, but is not murderously spicy. So I hear habanero and I get a little nervous.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, that's gonna be consequences.
Yeah.
But this it's actually just a nice add to it, I think. But from the way that he treats the hot sauce, it brings out the flavor more than it brings in the heat.
Okay. All right. We've got 2 more. One of them is Sweet Science ice cream.
So this is, you think, do I need another gourmet ice cream in my life? Yes, you do. Sweet Science. She does all kinds of different flavors. Some of them are like the Manhattan or different. There's carrot cake right now, but for me, my ride or die is the dark chocolate sorbet, which you would never guess is dairy free. It's one of those things that I can share it with anybody. People who think they have problems with ice cream can have it. It has this luscious mouthfeel that's so glorious with a really good ice cream. And then again, that bittersweet darkness of the dark chocolate. Like, I've ruined my children for regular ice cream because I get this and bring it home.
I always thought sorbets were like orange and like fruity.
Yeah.
So that's really interesting. Okay, I wouldn't have ordered it, but now that you say it.
Go get it. Look for it at the grocery store.
Okay, perfect. And finally, we end with Sweet Martha's.
Sweet Martha's. How can you talk about Minnesota food without talking about Sweet Martha's? She is indeed sweet. It's all about the state fair flavors. And now that she's got it in the freezer section, I love that brilliantly you can just take a couple out. You don't have to commit to the whole bucket.
cone.
Yeah, or the cone.
Either.
You can just pull a few out, and you get all those flavors that you know and love from this state fair right out of your own kitchen.
Well, thank you, Joy. This has been awesome. If you guys want the full list, you can just go to startribune.com.
We will be right back. I'm thinking Sweet Martha's with that chocolate sorbet. Yeah.